Hey y'all. So normally I come over here to talk about books, the ones that I'm writing and the ones that I'm reading. But today I want to talk about John. I'm gonna try to get through this without crying. But I gotta say, since yesterday when I had to put John down, I have felt like these big emotions that the way that I can release them is by writing about it and talking about it. Like my husband and I were sharing some of our best memories with John yesterday, and I posted some stories of the blog post that I did on my blog about it. And I don't know why I do this, but maybe that's why I'm a writer. I need to explore big emotions through some sort of expressive medium that I can communicate it. Si no, me siento como que me voy a explotar. Like I'm just gonna burst with all these words and feelings and descriptions inside of me. So saying that this post discusses the loss of a pet. So the thing is that for me, pets are not just pets. So I look at pets as my children. I look at them as family members. And that same bond, that love, it's there. So it has been very tough, and yesterday was one of the toughest days because while I knew he was getting older, John was 15. I was gonna say was 15. I thought that we would have him a little longer. We had him in treatment. He was getting the right medication and everything. We even like made him his own diet at one point because he had kidney and liver disease. And then we ended up going with the KD Science diet, and that was his only diet. He fought me about it because John is was a feisty, stubborn dog full of personality. But he ended up caving in and having that as his diet. But let me tell you about the day that I met John. And this is what's on my blog post. So, I used to be stationed in Korea a while back, specifically 14 years ago. And I worked in a warehouse in Wagwon, in the military base there. And my chief and I went out to eat lunch. And I, I love her so much. So we went out to get lunch, and I think we were taking in orders for other soldiers as well. So that way, we can come back because we used to work long hours. And we went to McDonald's in Wagwon. And it's just this very packed, right? It's downtown. It's very packed. And I remember we went through the line. It was a long line. We did the drive-through, got our stuff. Came out. I don't know if we had parked or whatnot, but I remember distinctly hearing this bark that I would forever be familiar with from that point forward. And then I come out. Her and I both come out. She parks the car. She's like, "What is going on?" Because the bark it didn't sound right. And then we come out, and then Chief, she's Nigerian, so she has a strong Nigerian accent, and she's like, "Look, that looks like a queen's dog." She told me, and I look, and all I see is this yellow fur ball, low to the ground, short legs, long body, with a cork tail. To me, he looked like a little mini ferocious lion. And it was almost like David and Goliath, because he was like this. John always looked like he was bowlegged because he would walk like this. And cue the waterworks. And he was just like this and looking at this man, the man well dressed in a suit, but John had him by his fucking sock. Man was like a giant compared to John. And I don't know what that man did. I don't know. At first I was thinking that's his owner, but I'm like, why would he be treating him like that? And the man was about to kick him with the other leg, and I saw a cab pull over, so I'm assuming he was late to work or something like that, and maybe John didn't wanted him to leave. And I yelled at him. I was like, hey, what are you doing? Which is usually the first question that I have whenever I see something violent or odd. It's like, what are you doing? And he looked at me. I can tell he was angry. He started yelling in Korean. And so I was like, I don't understand Korean. So I started yelling back in English, and some Spanglish got in there too. Neither of us understood one another, anyways. So I just told him to get the fuck on and leave the dog. And sure enough, he gets in the cab, and I kind of like grabbed John, and that startled him for a little bit. And he will always kind of be like that. Whereas like if he doesn't see you coming and you startle him, he'll nip. Um, so he kind of looked back and almost nipped me, and then that was the cue for the guy to get into the cab, because now John didn't have him by the ankles. And sure enough, when he leaves, both of us are just there for those few seconds, like, just, what do we do now? John is looking at me, I'm looking down at him, and it's like, I don't know. John always had like the wisdom in his eyes. When he would look at me, I would think like there was some thinking involved. There. I don't know why. I don't know. He was very smart. He was a very smart dog. And I'm like, so you want to come with me? And it just kind of like just came out of my mouth. And he goes like, and I'm like, you want to come with me? And you could tell he was like, I don't know, lady. I don't know if you're gonna treat me the same way as that other dude treated me. I don't know. I don't know. And I was like, wait, because he was very skittish. So I was like, just wait right here. And I, ever since we met, I've been talking to him like he's another human. I'm like, wait right here. Hold on. And I run, and then she's like, you gonna take him? I was like, hold on, he needs to come, because I'm not gonna force him. I told her, I don't want to, traumatize him even more. And I grab a chicken nugget from one of the orders, and I'm like, here doggy. And fucking, it was like this, like he just turned, and his instincts just cued right on. And um and then his little legs, I see his little legs, and he always walks like this, and I see his little legs moving towards me, and I back it till we get to the car. And I have the bags on the bottom of the floor, so uh, he can smell that, and then he jumps in. He used to be able in his younger years to do these little jumps. Even with his short legs, he always surprised me. And he jumps in, so I grab the bags and move him out so he doesn't just like fucking shred through all the bags. We do end up going back to McDonald's and getting him his own set of chicken nuggets, because that boy deserved it. Like, he earned those chicken nuggets that day. And then we go to work. He is there with me until I get off of work. And I asked my landlord, I used to call her Ajima, if she can make me a poster. And then I took a picture of him so I can add it to the poster. And in the poster, it had information of who to call and where to come if that is their dog. So she did that for me. And then she also took him down to the vet downstairs. I used to live in the Fish Market Street in Tegu, and apartments were up here, and down here was a furniture store, and right here was a vet. So it was like, it was perfect because once John became mine, that was his vet right there. And she took him. We both went downstairs, went to see the vet, and she got the vet to just scan him for chips, and he didn't have any. So once I go the next day to work, I post these posters where I found them on the light post over there in Wagwan, just to see if anybody will call. The whole time, John is with me and my son in our apartment in Korea, and I told him, I told my son, don't name him because we get so attached. And I was like, don't name him because he may have an owner. And sure enough, after a few weeks go by and we starting to ramp up into the holiday block leave, nothing has come up. And I even asked my Ajima, I was like, anything? What else can I do? And she was like, no, nobody wants him. So I asked my son, I remember that day vividly. I was like, John was, following me. And I looked down, I was like, so this is gonna be your Christmas. What do you want to name him? And right away he's like, John. So my son's name is Jonathan, and his dad is called John. But I think because his dad has been absent in his life, he wanted to have that figure still, even if it was in the body of a short-looking lion dog. And that's how John became our family. He became my companion, my shadow. He became my son's best friend, his dad adjacent figure of, that will play with him, that he could talk to, that, would do things with him. So, like I put on my post, I call that the rescue story, but I think in a way he rescued us.